for us, it was just, we just didn't stop advocating for ourselves.
Right.
We never stopped. There was never a time where I was like, oh, okay, well, if they said that, then I guess I'm not in menopause or whatever.
Right.
You know, I mean, we never stopped until we got the care that we know we deserve. And that is I think that's one of the main things, is you just have to keep pushing for.
Yeah.
Welcome to Suburban Warrior, the podcast that will impact, inspire, and empower you to transform your mindset and become the badass warrior that you are. I'm your host and fellow warrior, Chrissy Pfeiffer, former clinician and corporate marketing exec turns multi-passionate entrepreneur, performance and life coach, and mom to 4 not-so-little warriors. Each week, I will bring you honest conversations with inspiring guests to share their stories of resilience, optimism, success, and simple yet effective strategies so that you transform your thoughts and change your behavior to get the results you want in your life. You will be empowered to take action, warrior up, and believe in you. Let's do this. What's up, warriors? Welcome back to another episode of the Suburban Warrior podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy Pfeiffer, and I am back this week with not just one, but 2 amazing Suburban Warriors here on the podcast today. And, you know, on Suburban Warrior, we talk about all things midlife health and wellness for women, mainly because, you know, about 10 years ago when I was starting to go through this perimenopause journey myself, there were like literally absolutely no resources for me. No one was talking about it. No one was even uttering the word menopause. And I felt really alone and isolated. And, you know, I thought maybe I was the only one that was absolutely falling apart. And there was no evidence for me otherwise that I wasn't alone. So now, thanks to podcasts like Suburban Warrior and thanks to my guests today, you know, that's not the case anymore. We have so many more resources and so many more communities to be surrounded by to learn about this journey. So today we are not only out there talking about it, we are out and we are loudly talking about it. So I'm going to introduce my guests today, 2 guests that are amazing, Dodie and Laurie. And they met through mutual friends and Laurie's fiance, and they clicked instantly, like old friends reunited. Their true connection formed on Laurie's front porch in March 2023 when Dodie unexpectedly broke down for reasons unknown. The raw moment of sharing struggles with each other, and Laurie stating her perimenopause, emotional waves, and how bioidentical HRT had transformed her life, planted a seed. By July 2024, Dodie approached Laurie about building what she thought was a website for her design business. Instead, she revealed her real dream, creating an online safe haven for women to embrace their beauty regardless of shape, size, or color, which during the discussion quickly expanded to creating a community supporting women through hormone changes and perimenopause. What began as a vulnerable conversation has blossomed into a thriving community where women find education, solutions, and sisterly support. Their message is simple. They're not alone, and it's time we all get loud together about women's health. Their exploding social media presence is pushing them further as advocates for all women navigating these unspoken journeys. So welcome to the podcast, ladies.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That actually, hearing you read that kind of made me tear up.
Yeah.
Honestly,
awesome.
that's the first time I've heard anybody, I think that's the first time we both heard anybody read it out loud. So yeah, we're so passionate about it. So I'm sorry, I didn't think I was going to get emotional.
We're emotional with everything.
Well, that's okay. You know, because Dodie, you said before we started recording, you're in the perimenopause shit show, so you're very emotional.
Right.
No. I'm just teasing, but I totally get it. You know, I mean, this is such a journey, and you know, this is the first time I've had 2 women on Suburban Warrior together, and I love it, and I love your story, and I love that you guys are doing this together because, man, is it so important to have a community around you, but to have someone by your side to really go through this journey. Maybe, like you said, someone who's a little bit ahead of you to help guide you and mentor you through perimenopause and menopause. I mean, that is such an amazing gift that I think we all need. We all need a perimenopause partner who might be a few rungs on the ladder ahead of us, because I know for myself, it was really a tough 10 years. And, I couldn't find any help. And I'm in a much better place now because of resources and mentors and, my menopause community that I've surrounded myself with. But, I love that you two are doing it together and building this amazing business together. So welcome to the podcast. I'm so psyched to have both of you on. And let's start by telling us a little bit about your story. How did you end up sort of here building this amazing community?
Yeah, so my story basically is I just grew up in that generation where, and also my parenting that I received was, you're supposed to be perfect, you're supposed to look a certain way, and that just really, honestly, it did a lot of damage. So, moving forward in life, I've done the best I can to overcome a lot of it, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm in this thing called perimenopause, and I don't know what's going on. And I wasn't educated.
It's called perimenopause, but at that point,
I didn't
honestly,
know.
Neither.
No one knows.
No.
Yeah.
I thought, I actually started to believe my ex that I was crazy. Times I tell myself it wasn't, but then I was like, he would say it so much that I'm like, maybe I am crazy. Okay. So, I started questioning things, and really, it really hit me when Laurie and I sat down together, and she's the one that's like, Dodie, you need to get your hormones tested, because I'm not a crier. Okay. And I would just start crying out of nowhere. And that's what happened. I just started crying, and she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. So yeah, that's just how it kind of went. But it's not for the faint-hearted. I will tell you that. Yeah. It is tough. But
so would you say for your menopausal journey, or again, because I think no one actually knows that they're in perimenopause when they start experiencing symptoms. I know I certainly did not. And it took me probably I probably started at 38, and it took me till 43 and getting absolutely horrible hot flashes to understand I was in perimenopause. But I had so many symptoms prior to that I didn't know. So I'm curious for both of you. Obviously, you don't understand it's perimenopause, but what were the first symptoms that you started to experience that eventually you could look back and say, okay, that was perimenopause? Like for you, was it the crying and the emotional roller coaster?
No, actually for me, it was my temper.
Oh,
I would just snap out of nowhere. And then I would step out of it's almost like I stepped out of my body and looked at myself, and I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
Yeah.
Really?
Totally.
And for me, and it's interesting, and I want to say this because I'm 50. I just turned 50. She's 54.
Okay.
She's still in perimenopause. I'm postmenopause now.
Yeah.
So there's no age delineation. There's no age range. Honestly, like you said, it can start in your 30s and go all the way into your mid 50s.
Yeah.
Until you're postmenopause. So I had a period one day, and that was the last period I ever had. And I was just like, oh, this is weird. I honestly didn't even, I was like, this is weird. But, and I had the night sweats. I was Googling, like, what makes you, I didn't know what it was. I thought it might be cancer. I thought it might be XYZ. So I was Googling all these weird symptoms, and I was having severe leg and foot pain to the point where I would wake up in the morning and I couldn't step on my feet. I would have to do these stretches. I had plantar fasciitis. I had knee pain. I had the aches, all of it. It was the most bizarre thing. But then, so when I did go to my doctor after the cessation of my period, and he said, well, I guess you're in menopause. And honestly, that was the last thing he said to me about it. So I was just so confused. And it was another friend that had brought up, hey, you might want to have your hormones checked. You might want to look into this. And that's when I started doing my own research.
Yeah.
And then she came along like a year later.
Yeah.
With, the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. So basically you had symptoms as well, not realizing, like you said, you're Googling, you're looking it up, not realizing it's perimenopause related. That was the same issue for me. I had all of these symptoms. I had the horrible joint pain, horrible fatigue and brain fog, major gut issues, all of these things. Went to all these specialists in my late 30s, early 40s, and just no one ever mentioning that it could be, perimenopause related, which now we know, musculoskeletal syndrome of menopause. Like there's all this research now coming out, but it wasn't for me that I started with hot flashes because, and to your point, I literally thought, what is it cancer? Do I have some kind of crazy virus? Do I have a disease? Because the hot flashes came on so fast and furious all day, all night. Like someone literally flipped the light switch on in my body. And even then, and I'm a nurse and I have a background in pharma, like I know hot flashes or menopause. I still didn't even think of menopause because I was only 43. And I was like, menopause is for someone in your 50s. Like why? So to me, I literally thought I had cancer or something. And when I went to the doctor and they're like, well, yeah, welcome to menopause. I was like, what? I'm like, oh, hell no, this is not menopause.
No, I'm way too young and hot for this. No, thank you.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm like 43. No way. So, it's really easy, I think, to dismiss a lot of symptoms that we're feeling in our late 30s, early 40s, or maybe even 50s. Like you said, there's no real, firm age, but that's why I really think it's so important for women to understand and educate themselves on the symptoms, because if you are feeling this way in your late 30s and early 40s, I just so wish someone would have told me, hey, let's look at your estrogen and the decrease in your estrogen and the fact that you have no estrogen left in your body, because
a lot of stress. If we had known, it would save a lot of stress.
Well, and then stress adds on to things. So you're feeling stressed. You are Googling these symptoms. You're curious as to what it could possibly be. So you're worried about it. And then that just,
that fear
it exacerbates things.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Dodie, for you, it was temper, mood swings, and then just emotional up and down.
Flashes. The hot flashes were probably going on around the time that I was noticing like the temper, but I guess I didn't notice them as much because I run hot anyway. Okay. Yeah. I'm just a hot person. I sweat all the time anyway. That's just
yeah.
Okay. I know. I just made myself sound really disgusting, but
oh please, we've all been there. Yeah, it's all good. We all have something.
Most women say they perspire. Nope, I sweat. So those. I mean, I had all the same symptoms. I thought it was really early arthritis, but it's. I'm sure there's some arthritis, but most of it, it's all this perimenopause.
Yeah.
So
then you talked to Laurie, who has this. So Laurie, you had already been told by your doctor that you're in menopause. So you have some education in this area to kind of give your experience to Dodie, right? And then so what happens from there?
All she said to me was, Dodie, you need to have your hormones tested. I think I set up an appointment the following week. I went because I couldn't wait to get in and find out what was going on. Sure enough, my testosterone was super low. Like, I think it was 15. It was really low.
Oh, mine was not. She had nothing. 3. I mean, on estrogen, testosterone, everything, I had just completely bottomed out.
Yeah. So then, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so I immediately did the pellet.
Okay.
Even with my biggest thing, I didn't even do a ton of research on it. I was more concerned, is it bioidentical and non-synthetic? That was my biggest thing because I've already had issues with, like, say, an IUD that was synthetic. So I had to have that removed because that caused major problems. So I was just curious about, is it bioidentical? I did it right away. And honestly, within 2 weeks, I felt like a new person. My energy was back because I'm a high energy person anyway, but I had 0 before that. I was smiling again. I was happy. I just felt like me. That's why I'm not saying HRT is for everybody, but I'm just saying don't dismiss it because it basically gives you your life back.
Oh, trust me. I know. Yeah. I'm right there with you. I mean, I literally for years and years and years tried to find a practitioner, a doctor who would prescribe HRT for me that I felt comfortable with, that I knew, was well versed in what to prescribe and how. And it took me 5 years to find that physician, because this is, I'm going back 5 years or longer, seven to 5 years ago. And doctors just weren't prescribing it. And the very few that were, it took a long time to find them and a long time to get in to see them. And, I think has gotten a lot better. But, for 5 years, I was in perimenopause/menopause and was experiencing all of these symptoms and knew that I needed to replace my hormones, couldn't find them. But when I finally did, it was days for me, like literally days. And I literally say it was like someone watered a dead plant. And all of a sudden,
I love that.
I mean, I literally felt like I came back to life within days. Now, I mean, obviously everything wasn't fixed, but hot flashes, the joint pain, sleep got better almost instantly. I mean, it was literally just unreal how my body responded to just replacing the estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone that was so lacking in my body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I find looking back, there's so many things that were the cause of all this perimenopause that I had no clue. I mean, I had some teeth that started chipping. I'm like, why are my teeth chipping? People don't realize that this is all a cause of this perimenopause and the decline in our hormones.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
absolutely
the same thing.
Yeah, I had teeth issues for sure. And my experience was a little different with the pellet. I got on it, and I didn't have an immediate shift, but I did have enough of a shift that I was able to, because I was just feeling so flat. I didn't even have the energy to exercise or even care. I was just like, whatever. I'm getting old. That's kind of, I felt that way. And that is so not me. That's so not.
Right.
And it slowly kind of shifted me out of that. And then I started making some other adjustments in my diet and in my exercise program and everything. And then I found a woman, because the person that we were going to before, he was great, but he was a man. And I just didn't feel like there was that level of understanding.
Yeah. Empathy.
Yeah. And he was trained on one type of pellet or
understood. Yeah.
So the person that I found now, she's amazing and she's so thorough, and I really have just had a really great experience with her. And we went a little bit different on, I'm doing a estrogen gel now instead of in the pellet, and that. And I'm really doing pretty low on the testosterone, and I feel good. So I'm just like, I'm just going to kind of stay here because I feel really good now. I really do. I mean, we wouldn't be doing this business if we weren't on hormone therapy.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think we would.
No. Listen, I get it, because I literally for so many years was, I'm still coaching and doing the podcast, but like, I just didn't feel like my vibrant self. And there was so much that I wanted to share about my journey. But to your point, I felt like exhausted by it. And I didn't have the energy, and I just felt like shit. And I didn't feel like myself. And that is not me. I mean, I'm a generally enthusiastic, energized person. I think to the outside world, maybe they didn't notice, but I did. And I mean, some days I just struggled to just stay awake throughout the day. And that's debilitating, for it to feel
in the world.
It's the worst. It's the worst feeling in the world to, just by 2 or 3 o'clock in your 40s to feel like all you want to do is like go to bed.
Right.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But I love what you guys are talking about with the HRT, because different experiences for both of your experiences are different than mine. And I think that's a great message for women out there, just to understand that everybody's journey is completely bio-individual. So what's going to work for one, it may not work for the other. For me, I never did pellets. I started on a troche, which is like a lozenge. But now I have switched to, I have the estradiol patch. I do the progesterone, micronized progesterone at night, and I do a testosterone cream. And that's where I'm at now. And that's what's working for me, all very low dose. Just as my doctor said, I love her. She's great. And she was like, I'm just going to give you just enough testosterone so you don't hate your husband. And I was like, I'll take that. That's great. So it's just really about finding the right delivery system, the right dose, everything sort of that works for you. But it could be different. So, it's not a one size fits all approach by any means.
No. And it really, I cannot say enough of this, and same with Laurie, I'm going to speak for her too, but if you are not comfortable with the answers your doctor is giving you, move on.
Yeah.
Ask the questions. If you still don't get the answers, move on. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm just saying right now, we're in this big shift where these doctors are starting to be educated on the hormones and get into it. So I just, we're at that kind of that transition stage.
Yeah, it's hit a tipping point, I think. Yeah. But there's still some really old school doctors. The based on the comments and the private messages that we get,
it's insane.
And the problem is we were taught as young women to listen to authority. Listen to your doctor. If your doctor says to do XYZ, that's what you do, and you don't question it. That's how I was raised 100%.
Yeah.
I listen to authority. Yeah. And it is the most uncomfortable feeling to be sitting there across from them and what, you have this feeling inside of you, I know what is best for me.
Follow it.
But you can't speak it. And you don't have the confidence or the courage yet to really say, no, that's not good enough for me. I'm sorry. And you're just...
Well, I just went to a working women's survival show, and this lady, I just got to talking to her. She's the one I bought that little bag from. Oh, yeah. She was I said, oh, these would be great for our business in our boxes. And I started telling her about it.
Tell her what they say.
Oh, stuff for my vagina.
I love it.
They're so cute. It's a little makeup bag. It's really cute.
It's awesome. It's so great.
We're going to have a bunch printed with different menopause phrases too. So anyway, so she started talking. She's like, oh, I am struggling. And I'm like, talk to your doctor. And she goes, I asked my doctor to test my hormones. And she told me that there's no need to. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And I could feel my blood pressure go up when she told me that. I'm like, ah.
Exactly. And I think that's because we've been through it. So now it's a little bit easier because I've really appreciated what you were saying, Laurie, about, we are brought up to really recognize authority, not really question it, be a good girl, all that kind of thing. And listen, I was a nurse and I worked at Johns Hopkins Level 1 Trauma Center, mostly, male doctors and surgeons who are godlike complexes, rightfully so, because they are pioneers in their field. But I was taught to never really question, their authority. And so that followed me throughout the rest of my life. And as, a woman in her 40s sitting there listening to doctors, male or female, I didn't question it. And I really look back and I wish I questioned it more. Knowing what I know now, I certainly would. And I certainly would encourage everyone to listen to your body, because no matter what someone says to you, it's quote unquote normal, or this is just what happens to you as a woman, or you're fine and you're just imagining it, that is not acceptable at all. No. And it should never have been acceptable, but it's definitely not acceptable now because we all know better. Although, to your point, there's a lot of physicians don't know better. And not only they're old school physicians, there are physicians that, want to help you, but they're just not trained to do so. They don't have the education. Yeah. And, I think there's only 2,300 or so actual menopause certified practitioners in the country.
Yeah.
That is not enough for the millions and millions of women that are currently in perimenopause and experiencing symptoms.
Think of it, a new batch comes in every year. There's a new big batch of them. And it's got to change.
And when it lasts for 10 years, that is not enough doctors.
It is not enough doctors. And so, I think as women, we have to realize that this truly is a grassroots effort right now. And we have, a lot of amazing women who are spearheading it and communities that are being built like yours and mine. However, everyone has to educate themselves and be their own advocate.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. And yes. So thank you for what you're doing too, because it just is going to take more of you, more of us to keep getting louder for some other people to listen.
Absolutely. And hopefully we're the voice for those that are just starting, their journey, and they're going to learn something and not have to suffer for years and years because they just didn't know.
Right.
I mean, that's really what my goal is. I hope to educate and empower. Right.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter-in-law, I don't want her to go through this, and I certainly don't want any granddaughters to go through this.
Right. And I do think, like, before we see like real change, like within the medical system, I mean, it will be a generation away. Like hopefully our daughters will receive a lot better care, but it is going to it takes a lot of education. It's going to take a lot of funding, a lot of changes within, the legal system and so, but we'll see. But in the meantime, we're here doing our grassroots effort to get the message out.
I love it. Yeah.
We're doing the best.
So tell us about your business.
Well, so really it started with the subscription box.
Okay.
Really, that was the first idea. Because we love to try new products, right? But you try all these different products and you don't know if it's going to work or how you're going to feel, and you don't know what's in it, if it's clean, you don't know if it's third party tested, you don't know XYZ. And so we were talking about, I'm trying this, I'm trying that, and it just kind of blossomed into this idea of, well, what if we did a subscription box service specifically geared towards women our age, women going through perimenopause and menopause, women who are feeling the things that we're feeling, experiencing the symptoms that we're experiencing, and, just kind of try it for them first.
Yeah, exactly.
We
really do the research.
Just really weed out the ones that aren't working overall and things like that. So that's really kind of how it started, but then the social media just blew up and we kind of took our focus off of that for a little bit because we were like, what's going on? We have all these people contacting us. We don't know what we're doing.
I love it.
Walked away from our jobs, not knowing where our next dollar is going to come in from. But but we really did all that.
Yeah, we didn't anticipate the growth that we that we are still experiencing on Instagram. I mean, it's just Instagram. I mean, we did start a TikTok, but we're like one thing at a time. Like, it's so much work to figure out.
It is a lot.
Systems out, and Instagram's just been really fun because we're both very creative people. I'm a photographer. She's a designer and general contractor, and so we both have that creative. And now that we're on testosterone and our creative juices are flowing, it is a really fun way for us to just kind of put stuff out there and play kind of. But it's been a really cool thing because as we do our research, we're creating all these different memes and reels and stories and all of that. And so we're getting to share information in a really fun way, and it's resonating. Yeah. I mean, it's just resonating.
It's just the response, Chrissy, is just amazing how many people are thanking us for feeling like they have a place to go to and talk.
Yeah.
Just know that they're not alone.
Or just get some information or just laugh. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is just funny shit that we're just like, oh my God.
Right.
If we can we laugh our butts off at it, then we know everyone else is going to laugh at it.
So really the box is just kind of a way to celebrate them, but also offer products that hopefully help them through this whole process. Because I know you've experienced it, the dry hair. I mean, I told Laurie, she sprayed my hair right before you came on because all these little regrowths, and I'm like, that is terrible to have that window behind me, Laurie.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly.
We have growth because one of the products that we're trying is growing hair.
So we're doing products like that, things that are going to help our hair feel thicker and grow back faster and be stronger, and our skin feels moisturized and we don't feel like a raisin and stuff like that. So
yeah. I know. When you said dry hair, I'm like, dry everything?
Yeah, no kidding.
I know. It's insane. I just didn't think a person's body could feel this dry.
I know. It's like Sahara Desert everywhere.
Everywhere.
So it actually brings I think back and I remember certain times, like probably wintertime, like I'd look at my mom's legs, and she'd have like that crackly skin on her shin, and
Yes.
I'm like, ew, I'll never be like that.
Yeah. And now you won't, because you got all the products, baby.
Now we won't. But yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the name of the business? Tell us about the Instagram.
Shebang.
Well, it's Shebang, Shebang, she bangs,
And it was really because we're powerful. We're women. We rock it no matter how tough things get. So we had a list of names, and for some reason, her and I both kept going back to that one, and we're like, let's just do it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
People's attention. It definitely it gets them starting asking questions, which we love.
Yeah. So what are some of the most common questions you get, on your Instagram, or like what are people curious about?
I think one of the most common is, I've seen a lot of where do I find an HRT doctor?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
What would you think another?
How to talk to your doctor, what to say. We did a free guide on how to best advocate for themselves at the doctor's office. So it's just a symptom tracker and just different things different ways that they can word what they're feeling or experiencing so that they're heard instead of dismissed. So we did that.
Questions to ask.
Yeah, what questions to ask, the right way to say things. Definitely tracking the symptoms. Tracking the symptoms is so important.
Right.
Totally.
I think there's a misconception that this is one question that really comes in a lot. While my doctor said my levels are normal, but I'm experiencing this symptom, this symptom, this symptom, this symptom, and I feel like absolute crap. So what do I do? For us, it was just, we just didn't stop advocating for ourselves. Right. There was never a time where I was like, oh, okay, well, if they said that, then I guess I'm not in menopause or whatever, mean,
if they said I'm fine, I guess I'm fine. Okay. I'll just keep.
We never stopped until we got the care that we know we deserve. Yeah. And that is I think that's one of the main things is you just have to keep pushing for yourself. And the thing is a lot of women, they're at this point in life where the kids are older. Maybe their job isn't as fulfilling anymore. They're not self-identifying with their career or their job or whatever. And they're kind of like, I don't even know how to do that. I've been taking care of everyone for my whole life. How do I now start just, one day I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to take care of myself. And what does that even look like? So I think, how do you do it? Yeah.
I mean, I was there. You were there.
I was totally.
I mean, I took care of animals and people my entire life. And then one day they were gone and I'm like, the dog died and my son goes, I'm getting you a puppy. I said, no, you're not. I'm going to learn how to do this.
Yeah. I'm going to take care of myself first and foremost.
And then, that's when I started realizing that, okay, maybe there is some things, my temper and everything, but the word never came up to me from my mom. And that's not her fault. She just wasn't educated. She wasn't taught to talk about it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a different generation. Mm-hmm. And they, some of that generation was on hormone therapy and then was stripped off of hormone therapy because of the, WHI study. And some just grinned and bear it. Like they just didn't talk about it. Mm-hmm. Where I think, our generation, we are not accepting.
Well, this at all. Yeah. I mean, I really truly think it's a Gen X thing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it came along and we are like, oh, hell no.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Chrissy, I asked my mom once I realized what was really going on after I started. I go, Mom, what happened with you in your menopause? She goes, oh, I just stopped having a period one day. And I'm like, oh, bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
No way. Exactly. There is no way.
No way. Exactly.
And I remember my mom wearing a patch. I do remember.
Yeah. Good. Oh, see, there you go.
She might have, I never asked her, but she might have taken it off after all the press on that study. So I do remember her being really stressed out a lot. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure like the mood swings, like, my mom unfortunately passed away very young, like in very early menopause. She was only 52, but I do remember her literally sitting at the dinner table and sitting in her bra because she was so having a hot flash. And we were all just like, what is happening here? Like, I mean, she was just like, and, you know, you could see she was in a sweat. She turned red. She was a feisty Italian woman. So she was just, she was just taking off her shirt in the middle of dinner. And I think I was like in high school at the time thinking to myself, what the hell? She's just crazy, you know, but that was her.
Now
now we know because I get it.
I mean, hindsight is everything.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. When you know, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the subscription boxes. So you're launching them soon. There's going to be all these kind of fun, interesting, good for you products that are in there for women that are in menopause, right?
Yeah, and we're going to do our best to make every box, you know, an experience and just kind of a celebration of every woman. They're going to be different themes every month. The first one, we're probably, the way I'm kind of gearing it is it's going to have kind of a conglomeration that kind of covers a lot of symptoms, okay? Yeah. Just to give them an idea. Now, every box, every month is not going to always, we're trying our best, but it's not always going to have the same amount of products. And again, that goes back to price point because some of these things are really, really high quality that we'd like to include, so we have to cut back on some other things.
And we're trying to do full size as much as possible and not just sample.
Yeah.
There will be maybe some extras that are sample size, and especially things that we're trying to get feedback on and
absolutely.
all of that. But
okay, love that.
You know, it's going to be a monthly box, and we have a little section for the guys, okay, and it's kind of like I want to live gift type thing. They can give to their wife, girlfriend, or significant other.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with it right now. We just had to bring another girl on because things are getting a little crazy. So pray for us. Pray for us.
Awesome.
Together. There was something else in that box that I was gonna.
Just information on, you know,
the product
information, why we love it, what it's used for, if it has certain ingredients that we love, and just general information about the product. And it's not just a beauty box where we're just throwing things in there. I mean, there's going to be specific reasons that we're putting these items in each box.
Right. You know,
I love that.
We're really focusing as much as possible. It's not always going to happen. We're really focusing on women-owned businesses. Okay.
Great.
We support that. We're trying to go as clean as possible on all of our products. Okay.
Yeah. Very important.
Yep. Very important.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, we've had to do a lot of testing on these products because I mean, we're only 2 people.
Sure.
We're enlisting friends.
We're enlisting people to try it for us now because there's just so, you know, we've got so many people reaching out and they're like, hey, we'd love to, you know, collaborate with you. And I'm like, we're sampling right now. So send us samples to try it. Yeah. So yeah, I just think that as long as we keep doing this, that I hope everybody that is subscribed and opens up the box feels like, you know, we're doing it with lots of love because we are. And we're trying to keep them from having to go all. Look, I have boxes and boxes at home, and she wants to do a video on it. Boxes. I have thrown any kind of facial moisturizer, hair stuff. It's in boxes, isn't it? Oh, yeah. I just dumped it all in boxes, and I'm like, we do need to do some kind of video that I just try because I'm like, my skin's dry. That's not working.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like it, don't like it, you know, put them in the boxes. Okay, so give us a little taste of maybe, you know, a few products that you have tried recently that you really love that are working for you.
One is a plant-based, and it's a collagen gummy. And
awesome.
That's why I know my hair is growing. I mean, because I even have new hair. Like all this is new hair. Yeah. It's just I'm like, what is that? It's so weird.
That's amazing.
No, and that one we really love. That was one of our main ones that we tried. That we were like, oh,
there
this one's
is. I have a hard time keeping my lips moisturized.
Yeah, same.
I have found I thought I found a second product, but by hands down, this first product it's almost like it keeps the hydration in there and you don't feel like you constantly are having to pull that out and put it on.
Yeah.
I love that.
Everything else, I'm constantly like, where's my lipstick? Where's my chapstick? I just got to have something. I mean, I'll go in somebody's kitchen and get coconut oil.
Yeah.
On my lips.
Yeah.
So,
I love it. Just start smearing coconut oil all over everywhere.
Coconut oil if I don't have my lip gloss or lipstick.
There's another gummy. Well, there's another whole line of products.
Yeah.
There's a gummy that we're kind of playing with this product because some people aren't necessarily open to a CBD THC product, but it's a hemp based. But it's called. Well, I don't.
Well, we can't. I know.
We can't say it. So because we want everything.
Darn it!
So we'll let you know.
You can call us private.
Yeah. But the focus, the brain fog, and the focus on this product is like we're both like,
Chrissy, I am on Adderall. Okay. And I've been trying to get off my Adderall. I'm serious.
Yeah.
And
I
just don't.
Not she doesn't need to, but
I need something to focus.
Yeah,
okay,
sure. I get it.
Yeah, but I took this when we got the first sample, and I didn't even realize it until the third day, and I'm like, I looked at it, I go, I haven't even taken my Adderall. I've taken one of these for 3 days, Laurie. I go, and Adderall, you go like this.
Right.
I do anyway. This little gummy took me like this.
Yeah, that's nice.
Day.
Steady, more of a steady state. No peaks and valleys.
Yep. Productive.
Good.
No crash.
I call it the anti-procrastination gummy.
Yes.
That's awesome.
You have that pile of stuff on your desk that you're like, oh, I need
Yes. And you just keep walking by it, and it's not a big deal. Yeah. Just clean it up. But you just keep walking by it for days. Yeah, that's me. I do that same thing.
This, you look at the pile, and you're like, I can do this.
Oh my God, I love it. How about, speaking of like THC and gummies, a lot of women in their menopausal journey are very much enjoy drinking, enjoy their glasses of wine. For me, I enjoy my tequila, but I just do it as much as I used to because when I drink, I just know that I'm just not going to sleep. So, and not sleeping is really not something I want to do very often. So, for me, drinking is less and less these days, and I have to save it for when I really want it. But I know my friends and I are all trying to find, a little solution to that ish problem. And, is there something else, because there's so many mocktails on the market. Yeah. There are a lot of gummies, THC infused, cannabis infused, whatever things. I've tried some. I don't like anything that brings me down. I want something that when I have a drink, all of a sudden, one drink in, I feel pretty good. I'm up, I'm happy, I'm loose, things are good. So that's what I want to feel. I want to feel like I do when I have a drink. Have you guys found any fun solutions to that?
I'm going to sit here and tell you, not completely yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn it.
Yeah. Because we have the same goals.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Same goals. Okay.
I love that you like tequila. Okay.
Yeah. Me too.
I like vodka.
I'm a vodka.
Yeah. I like vodka too. Vodka and tequila. I go back and forth.
But I joke around because I'm like, since this whole menopause thing, I love to drink. I'm not going to lie. I'm an all or nothing person,
Yep.
Tito's Club, lots of ice, 2 limes. I'm good.
Yes.
Okay? And
right with you.
I just don't I don't like the way I feel the next day. And like you said, the lack of sleep, but I still, just like you, like that feeling of just uninhibited, loose, no stresses, So we are working on trying a couple things to try to find that replacement. Because
when you do, you need to tell me. I will. And I will do the same because I am trying to find some things and, I just haven't found the right thing yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious, another time I'd be curious to see what you have tried.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Some of the THC things, I don't feel like they give me as much of the, up that I like. It's a little too mellow, and I don't need anything to mellow me out. I need something to feel like I'm celebrating and to feel, like I want to feel when I have a drink.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I didn't know this because I don't study all that much, but this has high CBG. which is what is the mood lifter. And it's so low on THC. I think it's like, 2.5 grams.
It's so minimal. It's not like, but they do have one for sleep, and they have one for if you're raging. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And they're geared towards women in perimenopause and menopause. That's their primary focus.
And
great.
Yeah. And the one for raging, I actually take before I go to bed, because it mellows you out.
Helps you relax.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do take that to help me sleep, along with my progesterone.
And we definitely have tried several things for sleep, and that is one question we get all the time is, what can I take to help me sleep? What can I do to help me sleep? So.
And
what's your answer for that?
Magnesium spray, definitely.
Yes.
And spraying it on your feet. Yeah. For me, that works every time.
Yeah.
It really has.
That I take the progesterone. So I take a progesterone gel tablet, but I also do the cream.
Okay.
And then I take that gummy.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
I do the magnesium. I don't spray it on my feet. I take a magnesium pill. That's like 7 different types of magnesium, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
And then I take the micronized progesterone at night.
Okay.
So, but I do think the spray on your feet is a great suggestion. And I mean, why not pop a gummy too? I mean, we need to be knocked out.
And she knows, she's witnessed it, because I will just start crying because I'm like, I need to sleep. I haven't slept 7 days. And I don't. I mean, she's really struggled with sleep, but she was kind of in between too with the progesterone. So
yeah. And it kind of like sleep is everything. Sleep is everything.
Yes.
So yeah, I totally get that. Well, I'm really excited for you guys to launch your subscription boxes. They sound amazing. Tell our audience where they can sign up for the subscription boxes.
So they can go to getshebang.com, GET shebang.com, and they can sign up to get on the pre-launch waitlist. They can also find us on Instagram, and there's a link for that sign up on Instagram in our bio as well. And it's Shebang Menopause on Instagram.
Okay, awesome.
We are on TikTok, but it's we're barely on TikTok because
that's okay. You never know. You might be on it more, so they can look for you on TikTok too.
Yeah, we put one little video out, and we actually had really good response. So we were like, okay, maybe we should try TikTok. So
listen, it's just the beginning, ladies. Yeah. You guys got a long way to go.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all do, but just the beginning, right?
One thing I know we're both adamant about is, like, she started saying, this does not have to be a doom and gloom thing. Yeah, it is tough. It is a struggle. And I'd be the first one to say it's hard as hell, especially when you're on the 10-year, plan.
Absolutely.
I started around 45. And now that I look back, that's when it really started. And I'm 54.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be doom and gloom. So I just want everybody to remember that, when you're having a tough day, it's just hormones.
Yeah. And there is help.
There is help.
And once you find the right help, it's life-changing.
It
is life-changing.
And also something kind of powerful happens when you start really caring for yourself and advocating for yourself. You really step into you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the time of life that we get to step into us, and we get to really find our power back again and, embrace it and then see what's next. Yeah. It's like the world is it's open to us. We can do anything and be anything, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 60, 70 years to live. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
With all the biohacking and all the things that we're learning.
I mean, who knows? Yeah. It could be even more. Well, thank you so much, Laurie and Dodie, for being on the podcast today, for being incredible suburban warriors yourself, and for helping to support the community that we're building here at Suburban Warrior. You guys can find Laurie and Dodie at Shebang Menopause on Instagram and also on TikTok. And we'll also link everything in the show notes where you can find the subscription boxes and as well as their Instagram. And you can find me at Suburban Warrior on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and wherever you listen to the podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. And listen, we would love to hear from you. In fact, we need to hear from you in order to help others like you. Please let us know your thoughts on the episode and the show overall by leaving us a review on Apple or Spotify, or drop us a comment on our Instagram, because your reviews and comments really help us reach more women that are searching for solutions and who can benefit from the conversations we're having and the community of empowerment that we're building. So be sure to click the follow button so you don't miss an episode of Suburban Warrior, where we are redefining midlife wellness with grit and grace. So warrior up, believe in you, and we'll be back next week with another amazing Suburban Warrior here to share her story with you. See you guys next week.